welcome back. This is Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV. Don't forget to send your comments and questions to our program this morning. Over to you, Lamarna.
We'll definitely find time to read those comments or questions out in the program this morning. And we'll hopefully will be joining our colleagues who are out to talk to look at the atmosphere, the situation, what is happening presently in some parts of the country and also in Freetown. So this morning in the show, the All People's Congress, the APC Party, Interim Transitional Governance Council or Committee headed by Alfred Peter Conte, in a press release on August 4th, 2022, said they've resolved and the unresolved membership issues within the party. Press release noted that on the 8th September 2020, the Party National Advisory Committee put up a notice reinstating former Vice President Chief Alhaji Samuel Samsumana as a member of the party. And as a committee, Alfred Peter Conte says they have unconditionally reinstated not only the former Vice President, but also all other members who found themselves in similar situation. However, there's been some disagreement by other members of the committee, and the Secretary General, Honorable Abdul Kagbo, disagree with that. He said they are not aware of that. So this morning in the studios to discuss this and other issues, we have been joined by some members of the committee. We have Bumne Kamara, is the Interim Publicity Secretary of the 21-man committee, and Honorable Abdul Karim Kamara, who is also a member of the committee. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll start with you, Bumne.
Yes.
The decision, as was announced, as mentioned in that press statement, to reinstate the former Vice President and other members of the party, in what spirit was it done?
Well, it was done in the spirit of unifying the party, and it's a long overdue matter that was started way in 2020, and we saw when the now spokesperson for the government, Alhaji Alpha Khan, in a press release in our party office, declaring that Chief Samsumana has been reinstated into the party. We also had news of the former president, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, visiting Samsumana in Ghana to talk to him to come over to his party. We also saw in our last meeting, in the last court order, that it was stated there by the judge that all expelled and suspended member or unresolved membership issue must be resolved. And it was part of the first court order that was given, that was flouted by the defunct executive. And we saw again in 2020, the NAC also came in also and reinstated Chief Samsumana. Well, Chief Samsumana is not our priority here, but is a key figure when you talk about unresolved membership in the APC. That's the center of concentration. But that's not the only matter on unresolved membership. You have...
Well, you singled him out in the press
yes,
statement.
but that is what I said, because he is a principal. He's a principal thing when you talk about unresolved membership, because it has been started before, few years back. He was reinstated, and it came again in a court order. It was not done, and again it is now in another court order. So that tells you how serious that matter is. And we saw when these things came up, the party then formed a 9-man committee to look at what brought about the problems within the APC. And Samsumana issue came out very distinctly, right? That the expulsion of Samsumana contributed immensely into what affects the party, into the loss of the 2018 general elections. So from that angle, you see how important that issue is. And so if we want to unify, like we have now a mandate from this court order to unify the party, and to take the party along. So you see, Sam Sumana's case must be one of the priorities to treat, because it has so much concentration, it has brought so much pains to the APC party.
It's an issue that has brought a lot of, debate or discussion on the legitimacy of the chairman to take such decision. Honorable will be speaking on that, but I want to ask, was the committee well constituted when this decision was taken?
Yes, I would say. In the first place, there are a lot of issues. Even the Honorable AKK you are talking about, it's not illegitimate to be as part of the 21-man committee. Okay, because he was holding an executive position. And the order says anybody who has held an executive position of the default executive should not be part of this exercise. So this is what brought the problem within the 21-man committee. Out of the 12 members that are claiming to be part of this thing, almost 10 to 11 of them are illegitimate to be members of that committee. And that was what brought the problem. When this thing was brought forward, no sooner they were announced in our press release, the next day we started receiving petitions against them. And in our first, second, third, fourth meeting, it was a buhaha, particularly from Honorable. He's the most insolent Honorable I have seen. I'm sorry to say this. He has acted very, very, very rudely in that meeting. He abused even people that are old enough to have him as a mother and a son. Like we have Honorable Emma Simbo. He spat on her face.
Honorable is here, I will defend
Yeah,
himself.
no, that is why I'm saying it, because he is here. That is why I'm saying it. And then you have to prove me. You will bring again Honorable Emma Simbo to testify this. He spat on his face when these discussions were held. Because we were saying...
Taking this away from him as an individual, how about the other members of the party?
I'm coming, I'm laying the premise.
Let me just ask.
No, I am laying the premise. Can you give me time?
No.
He was here, he was saying all sorts of things I heard.
No, you will say. Let me just ask. The Secretary General to the committee, who is Honorable Abdul Kagbo, has been saying, we've hosted him here as well, we've asked him, and he says, they were not part of this. They're not aware. He posted on his Twitter handle that he wasn't aware of this. And he's the Secretary General to the committee. There was also another letter from the lawyer who was, Alpha Jallo, who was representing the lawyers or so, who was saying meetings are being called without their knowledge. Is that not the issues that have been happening, the differences within the party?
That's not the issue. The main issue here is these guys are not legitimate to be in that committee.
Including Honorable Abdul Kagbo?
Including Honorable Abdul Kagbo. And so when these issues are raised, when petitions come against them, this is why they become very, very, very rude in our meetings. Like I'm telling you, this Honorable sitting close to me here, who was saying all sorts of things here, he insulted the mother of this same Emma Simbo. He insulted the mother of Honorable Bundu. He insulted the mother of Paaka. And these are elderly people. And he also insulted my mother until I was provoked to go and beat him. You talk to the other people, they will tell you that. No, I want to say this. So let me tell you, when he was saying all of these things here, you see, this is the man. They are not sincere with what they are doing.
You definitely make your submission, but please, let me ask this question.
Please.
Is Alfred or that of your camp synonymous to that of dictatorship?
That's not it. Whatever we have done in that thing have been very, very unanimous. Now, let me come to the question you were asking. Now, we took this position after the by-elections. Now, we came back to the office, and we were with them in Parliament throughout a week plus. Me, the chairman, and some other people. We were in the Parliament, and we were discussing. At the end of the day, they told us that the debate is ended. Now they are going to committee stage. They did not explain to us what is committee stage. To us, they just said the debate is ended. And it was there. In fact, I was part of the discussion with Honorable Abdul Kagbo when the chairman suggested that we should meet the next day. And in fact, he gave two of the agenda, items on the agenda. The chairman gave two. And we agreed upon that meeting. I was there. And they spent about 30 minutes before I joined them, the three of us in Parliament. And so we agreed to hold this meeting. But what we suspected is these guys are delaying the process for whatever reason we don't know. We should have gone through all of these things before now, but they continuously delay the process by bringing in confusion in our meetings.
Okay, so let's bring in Abdul Karim. You and other honorable members are against the reinstatement of Sam Sumana. On what grounds?
No. What we'll do is, let's put the record straight.
Okay.
He's not missing the fact. He's unable to state the facts. And in public discourse of this nature, when you're unable to state the facts as they are being asked, you tend to move from the original context and venture into areas that will create chaos. I promise you we're going to have a very fine discussion. I will not bother going into your life. I will not, for very strategic reasons. What we are against is not the reinstatement. No. As a committee, we are charged with the responsibility to look into thematic areas by the court, have rules for the lower level elections, settle unresolved matters, appoint the election transition committees. These are strategic mandates. Therefore, it beholds us as members of that committee to deal with those issues strategically. I accept his sincerity of saying when we told them we're going into committee stage, they lack the knowledge of what committee stage was supposed to be. That's a sincere statement. And based on that, I'll be very kind to educate my elder brother. By the way, he happens to be a very senior statesman in Tonkolili, so I have to be careful when I talk to him. We were going into committee stage. I also accept the fact that they were with us throughout the process of the debate. Himself, with the exception of Honorable Wibo Mbundu, who was not in Parliament. They all came to Parliament. But little did they know that when we were going into committee stage of that bill, it was the most strategic, difficult moment that needs the number game of members of Parliament. He alluded to that he never had an idea. And we were again in a meeting with the peace people who came to the party office, and they also told us, Alfred said in his statement, he never knew what committee stage is. That also exacerbates his complete ignorance in governance issues. But our point is, when they send the agenda for the meeting in the group, for which I'll send it to him again today, in case he has not heard that, we send all the paper to say, we are going into the most difficult part of the bill. So it is but necessary that we move this meeting to the evening hours. We are not against attending meetings. No way. It was the very Alfred is here to defend that asked all members of the committee to continue to support members of Parliament during this difficult time. And he cancelled the meeting for the first day. He called the meeting again for the second day. And as he's saying, the 9 of them are not representing the APC. They are representing Alfred Peter Conte. And out of that 9, they had one of the most senior members of Parliament in the record of APC, who also happens to be the leader of government business. By his status and experience, would have told Alfred and the entire 9 of them that this is the most delicate part of it. But they continue and ventured into having a meeting. That is not where the problem is. That you did not attend. How can you're telling us to leave the house, the APC house on fire. You understand? Leave the election bill.
There has been issues before that meeting.
Exactly.
No, there's been disagreement. Exactly. There were counter press releases.
I'll address.
Let's go to the specifics. He's been accused, he said, you being at the committee, you are not legitimate.
Okay, that's where insincerity comes in. If you go to PPRC now, there is a letter to the effect, written, signed by Alfred Peter Conte, of which he knows of, that the issue of membership within the committee has been resolved. So I tend to ask the question, where is this issue of membership or no membership? He wrote a letter. He was not coerced. He was not forced. Nobody chased him. He wrote a letter voluntarily with a minute of that issue being resolved to PPRC. So him sitting here and referring to that matter of membership, besides, except if he's telling me the judge, Fisher, was not knowledgeable about the structures of the APC. You cannot have a member of parliament who is not a member of the former executive. You cannot. Because by the constitution of the APC, every member of parliament is a member of the executive of his constituency. Every member of parliament is a member of the district executive. Every member of parliament is a member of the regional executive. That is sacrosanct.
Who has been causing the disruption within the committee? He accused you and other members.
I don't want to go into him personally attacking me.
No, that's good.
Because that is not why we're here. I was as young as...
So do you agree that you've been disrupting the committee?
It's difficult to even think of. You knowing my character.
He says so. I'm asking
that's what I'm saying. I am a public character of which many people know me and they know my character. What he's saying is not just news to himself, but he is here to deliberately, he's saying he's here to defend their status quo. For me, it is unheard of to say I went in to attack somebody. What the exchange between myself and Emma Simbo was, you are a senior person of this party. You've gone to the position of Minister of Finance. In such a situation, if you are part of this committee, you should be seen anchoring the peace and unity in this committee. You understand? But I am not here, as you said. Let me go back to the question of what happens with Sam Sumana. We are not against reinstating Sam Sumana. Nobody will tell you that. What we are simply asking for, let's go according to what the ruling says. If you read the ruling, the quotation and the citations made by the Chief the Justice himself are very, very clear. And nobody by just a cup of tea sitting in his house in a relaxed manner can say, I have reinstated Chief Sam Sumana just like that. That's not how it ought to be. I am saying here, emphatically, when he speaks, he speaks as if it is us against Sam Sumana and them for Sam Sumana. If I was Sam Sumana, like, I give you decorum when you're speaking.
Please allow him to just make...
I have so much to say about you, but I have deliberately not to. Please respect yourself. As I was saying, when you listen to them talking about the case of Chief Sam Sumana, it's as if we are against Chief Sam Sumana, of which nobody in the APC at this material time will tell you, no, let's don't resolve the membership issue. No, we're only saying, let's meet as 21 men, you understand, in a room, as we've always said. Again, let me make this point clear before him. And if you wish to, he will ascertain and he will clarify, if you wish to. One, in all our deliberations that have warranted voting, including his nomination into his current position, none of those voting has ever called for a 9 versus 12 division. In the presentation of the rules in the committee, reading and amending them, none of the rules have come into 9 versus 12 situation. We've worked as united as we are. We've always worked together. We've always deliberated on issues in that committee. We've always supported each other on major decisions in the committee. So this issue of saying...
So who is the problem?
Thank you.
Committee?
Let me come. This issue of saying we are disrupting citizens of the committee. Let me say again to Bumne. He knows this. The problem we have in the committee are very simple. We came to the committee room after the Sama Bedungu, of which he is not saying the truth. I hate to say he's a senior statement. I don't want to say he's lying. But we went, we left the room. 4 weeks. We all agreed that during the by-election period, we cannot continue holding meetings. So we need to go out and join the people in the field. So we closed sittings. We came back on a Sunday after the by-election. On a Monday, an election bill came to Parliament. You understand? So we all agreed. In the 1 week, he's talking about 5 weeks, 4 weeks in the field. The 1 week we all spent again in Parliament. When we return, let me state this.
You're going to, but I'm curious. Is this fight between Sam Sumana versus Samoa Kamara?
It will never be.
Can I come?
It will never be.
Okay.
It will never be.
So you've said the issue is not you, the members of Parliament. And I want to ask you, Bumne, about some of the things you've said. You will definitely react to them. But the issue of reinstating members who were expelled from the party. Could it not be at the party's delegates conference where the entire membership will be to endorse whoever should come back as members of the party, or it's the responsibility of the committee?
It's a responsibility of the committee given by the others. It was stated that unresolved membership can be done prior to the National Delegate Conference.
Have you seen the PPRC letter?
I will come to that. It's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. But I think I've answered your question.
Okay.
That it's very unfortunate on the part of the PPRC, and the onus to resolve membership issue is on the committee, and it states prior to. And we have seen the Samsumana issue. We are not supporting. I am not a supporter of Samsumana. I came in as APC. Now, let me come to some of the things he was saying. When we started these things, because we heeded to their push, we were the best. Alfred was the best. They declared him to be one of the most democratic. We have videos. Even in our, if you were in our press conference, you will hear Honorable Abdul Karim and you hear Honorable Kabo praising Alfred of being a good Democrat. That is not the Alfred we think. But when we went into this thing, the time we began, and we began to put a shield into their force. Definitely, they are running a parallel administration to the 21-man committee.
The members of parliament? The
members of parliament. And honestly, I am not saying any, I don't want to be biased against him, but he has been one of, there are 4 of them that are problems in our committee. You see, and they are representing.
No, let him make his point.
You are the most. Is it an attack game?
No,
I am good at this.
No, you can defend yourself.
I am here to say the fact. I want us to. I want us to look at the issue. If you're going to attack game, I am good at that.
No, you definitely.
I am very good at attack games.
Let him make his point. You definitely.
Okay, let him go.
Go ahead.
I declare the game open.
Go ahead, Bumne. You were saying.
Good. We have these honorable members who are very, very, including him. They disrupt our meeting most of the times. Like I said, we only went through this when this thing started. When this thing came, he was talking about the letter Alfred wrote. What happened was, when this issue came, we had over 10 of these objections about their legitimacy in the 21-man committee. So we came back, and Alfred said, he discussed it with the leader who sent a letter to PPRC. And the leader said, no, this is not important. But we are continuing to receive letters, so no, this is important. So let us talk on this matter. That was when we had all of the problems in our meetings. So for 4 consecutive meetings, we could not hold anything. And what we realized was these guys will go back to these guys out there, the task force, and the people are telling them, we are paid up operatives of the SLPP. That if they don't kill us or beat us in that
Where
office,
do you meet? Where do you meet as
we
a
meet
committee?
at the committee office, Solidarity Hall. Just the hall inside of the Secretary General, the Secretary General's office. That's where we meet. And they will move out of that or go outside and incite people against us. That we are paid up operatives, including him and Honorable Mara. Until one time I came out, I met him and I told him, I said, Mara, what you are doing is wrong. Get into the room and discuss. You need not come out. And we have been attacked several times by their actions. So it began to show us that these guys are not with us. He was saying our selection was, our nominations were unanimous. Yes, because we thought we were 12. And that was what Alfred said. We are not coming here to represent anybody. We were coming here to represent the APC. And we want to make the APC a level playing field. And I think that is their problem.
Bumne,
yeah.
Another critical evidence is that the committee is polarized along interest lines. Is noticed by signing the committee and by the chairman calling on committee members, to send in their nominees for those who will be conducting the lower level elections. How does the committee go about making such decisions? We,
like I said, we had the discussions before we left for the by-elections. We came from the by-elections, we had the discussion, and it was agreed. Those that are honest among them will come and testify this. We agreed that each member of us, first somebody suggested that we need to go and nominate some people outside of the 21-man committee. And then others said, no, in case anything go wrong, we will be held responsible. The best we could do, let us nominate people. So we decided that each one of us should nominate at least a person. And then we give 3 spaces to eminent people of the party who have served the party, who don't have interest in any position, who have not shown outright interest to support an individual. So we choose 3 of these. So we gave the honors to the chairperson to choose from within the party. That was what we agreed upon.
Okay.
And then
so
let me finish it, please. It's very important. Let me finish it.
Go on.
They agreed. We went out. In our next meeting, when we came back, they denied it. They said, no, that extensionship. But this was what we agreed upon. Why are you denying this thing? And then we started calling upon meetings that they are dodging this meeting. That's the problem. And so it was, and they are always telling us, we don't have time, we push this. Now we say, well, you are saying we don't have time. We want to push this thing. Why are you holding us back in continuing? And so these meetings were held, we are cancelled, meetings were held, we are cancelled. They are hiding on, we are having parliamentary sittings. Well, it is as much as important as the party also. It is the party that took you to parliament. So if we are not organized, how could you go to parliament? So give us some time so that we can come and go ahead, because it was just to endorse. We have agreed upon it. It was just to adopt that minute. That was when they started boycotting.
Yeah, Magina, you were going to ask.
Yes, let me bring in Karim. Let me read something. It says, the third defendant shall hold an emergency national delegates conference for the sole purpose of adopting the amended draft constitution and to deal with any unresolved membership issue. Now, why have you guys not resolved this membership issue?
Okay. The thing you've read was a first order of the court that led us to convention to adopt the APC constitution. That's what you've read. What we have is a court order that has not gone against the spirit of the APC constitution. And in the APC constitution, unfortunately, my elder brother here has never been a member of even a ward committee in the APC. Therefore, he doesn't even know how the APC operates. When we were adopting this constitution, he was not in the hall. That was one of the most the bottleneck we had in this constitution, a statement of membership. If you are dissolved by if you are removed from the party by the National Delegates Conference, as in the case of our comrade is quoting, he was removed by the 2015 Delegates Conference. In that situation, it is only a delegate conference, which is the highest body of the party, that has the responsibility to reinstate him. Unresolved membership issue of 2 times. Again, I still say the knowledge he has about the party is so limited. He always showed up. I know you very well. We were together supporting JFK. That's where you became active in the APC. You contested the APC for symbol. You were defeated by Aaron. So let's not go into your personal. I've said that. I know you far more than 20 years.
No personal attacks.
No, you see, now you're saying no personal attack. He was here saying everything about me.
I'm saying the same for him as well, please. No,
he was saying everything about me. I am just saying he has little knowledge about the APC. That's what I'm saying. So in this ruling of unresolved matter, there are 2 types of unresolved matter. He ought to have known that. With his time, he has interacted with us. 1, you have people who said they've paid for membership cards. Yeah? That is an unresolved matter. How do you address that as a committee? Is 1. Secondly, issues of people who are asked out of the party. It is clear in the APC constitution how those people are to be instated. How can you sit down? You see, Bumne, you're talking about unifying the party. And Alfred and yourself as a team, you want to unify the party by bringing Sam Sumana. It's a good step. But if you cannot unite 21 men under just one leadership of Alfred, how do you talk about unifying the party? Okay. We've not gone to a point where you say we are not attending meetings. From the last time you pulled out a press release that you've appointed members of the committee, you understand? You're talking about selection. Bumne, this is why you went to court. Moral uprightness would have taught you that this is what we condemn.
Abdul,
you're talking about appointing 16 district chairmen. That is disgraceful in itself.
But it's 8:45 in our studios.
It's disgraceful.
Commercial break, and we'll be right back.
More and more people are using Rokel SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, like Rokel SIM Copper.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Rokel SIM Copper Plus now. You can download the Rokel SIM Copper Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe and reliable.
Welcome to Chicken Town, where the food is nice and the vibe is right. Let your hair down, relax, and treat yourself to a piece of chicken from just 15,000 leones. For you early risers, start your day with a delicious breakfast at our Charlotte Street branch. We also deliver. Call 074 800 700 or 080 600 700 to order a delivery straight to your door. Chicken Town at 15 Charlotte Street and 39 Old Railway Line, Freetown. Sweet you mort, sweet you life.
Well, welcome back. This is Wake Up SALONE on AYV Television on Channel 33. We're on DSTV on Channel 399. We're also on Radio FM 101.7. We are streaming live on our Facebook page, AYV SALONE. We've got loads of messages and we'll take a few of them to get the reactions of our guests. We still have Bumne and Honorable AKK with us in the studios talking about the APC 21-man committee. Marina?
The first message is from Ali A. Kamara. He says, how can you go to court for illegality and selection? You now know what to do.
Lamin P. Albert says Samsumana formed his party and stands against the APC. So why can't he be a presidential candidate for his political party? The guy has betrayed the APC. If his political party have the numbers to win the presidency seat like the APC, Samsumana will never talk with the APC.
Sheikh Abubakar Sako says, these honorable are the problem within the APC.
Yoki Musa says, for me, the leadership of Chief Samsumana is not dependable because it has been jumping from one party to another, and we should not depend on him.
Fake Konta says, the 9 men are the Samsumana team. They will not succeed.
Gracie Sori says, APC, this is not the appropriate time for this. Election is already here now. Some of these issues shouldn't be public. You all need to come as one to win the coming election, but with such divisions, I'm afraid.
Alusan Kamar says, guys, stop washing your dirty linens in public. You should have resolved party differences in house rather than disclosing party issues for public consumption.
Robert Mansaya just says, why are the other 4 members of the 12-man who are not parliamentarians refusing to attend meetings whenever the members of parliament are in parliamentary sittings?
And Grace says, can't wait to have Samsumana on the show.
Samuel Richard Smart says, less than a year to the 2023 elections, the APC is still trying to put their house in order. Looks like they need another 5 years to settle their issue. We can all conclude that the APC is very effective in opposition than in governance due to their propaganda mechanisms, so let them remain in opposition forever.
Please go on and take some.
The other one I'll take is from Castino. He says, as time is not in their favor, I advise members of the 21-man committee to forget about their selfish interest and come together for furtherance of the party. So otherwise, I am afraid that is from Castino. Abdul Conte say, are you kidding? Are you kidding me by telling the public that you have not been reading the ruling or judgment from the court? You really don't know the party, how the party structures operate.
And Samuel Kabia says, we the grassroots of APC will never accept Sam Sumana. Even if he forces his way to the party, he's just wasting his time. Go and find other things to do.
Mystic Adwazak says the ongoing, okay, we'll read that later. Okay, it's about the protest. We'll definitely be coming to that issue and we'll find time to read that. I think those are the messages we could take, and we go over. Do you have more, Marina?
I'll just take 2 more messages. Santos Camara says the 21-man committee should put away personal interest and seek to the good of their parts. And Sheikh Abubakar Sako says these honorables are agents of Cherry Cocoa. And my final message will be from Melvin Robert. He says APC members need to forget about the personal interest and put the party first.
Okay, let's go to our guests. You've had those messages, and I was about to land. Yes, you'll definitely land. We'll start with you, and you land, and you respond to some of the comments. But I'll ask this question about most of what the people have been saying about how the APC sees itself, you know, with all these issues, wanting to contest and win the 2023 elections. If you read the PPRC statement, it's also mentioned about the need for the party to come together ahead of the next election in the interest of your members, the people who are the owners of the party. How can that be resolved?
You know, I have met with many Sierra Leoneans, and I'll ask me to read the PPRC, of which the NEC boss also happens to be a member of the PPRC commissioners. We had sincere messages from them, and that was reflective in the advice they gave to us. That it's not about us, the few that are in the room. We should do everything in the spirit of the majority of the people that own the party, of which we are representing. And with that kind of statement, whosoever is sincere with what the advice was, you know, again, it's a kind of lack of leadership, lack of skills, leadership skills, lack of competency that is getting us where we are. After all of that, when the message was out, one of the things I was expecting I expected much from Ibrahim Bundo, was to say, okay, this is out. Can we call our brothers, you understand, to sit in a room and look at the advice from the PPRC and see where we can all tailor this problem together. Let me read the issue of unresolved issue according to the Constitution. Again, Bumne needs to know, away from the court ruling, the judge was also saying, everything we are to do should go in tandem with our Constitution. 13F of the Constitution. He said, whenever a person ceases to be a member of the party through resignation, 1, expulsion, or of a member of the party, the person may reapply, 1, for membership of the party, subject to the provisions of Chapter 2 of this Constitution, which are very, very clear. As a committee, he has cited the issue of the peace talk between President Koma and Sam Sumana. He was not there. He was told. He has talked about Alpha Khan reinstating Sam Sumana. If all you're saying was true in its first place that he has been reinstated, why do you have to pull a press release to reinstate somebody that has been reinstated? Why does the court have to give us a mandate? All we are asking for, the question the person is asking is very deliberate. All we are asking for as 21 men is, can we meet? Can we go according to the rules? Can we have a democratic position? How can you go to a meeting? He's talking about where we had a cease before we went to Parliament and they called the meeting, seeing us as a threat. Can you imagine us going into a meeting and you tell us number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 of the agenda, we skip that, we go to number 7. And in number 7, we have not even adopted the agenda for the meeting. And the chairman is saying, according to what in the previous meeting, we said, Mr. Chairman, sorry, sir, can we get the minutes of the last meeting? 7 people attended the meeting. The 12 to 14 people were absent. Can we read the minutes so we can adopt this minute before we proceed? He said, no, sorry, we've passed that stage. He said, sorry, no, that's not the tradition of a meeting. Can we go back? Interestingly, this is on moral grounds. I am saying this again on moral grounds. Let me land, please. On moral grounds, if you have said selection is a problem, We went into the room, the chairman was announcing, according to the previous meeting held, here 7 of us, we have agreed that every member of the committee appoints 1, and I, the chairman, should appoint 3. Is that a democratic tenet? Again, let's note, even though we are, time is against us as a party, but Alfred went to court on premises of saying the party did not go according to the dictates of the constitution. Anybody who is also APC, who is part of the 3rd defendants, can also go to court if this committee acts contrary to the constitution of the APC.
You know, Alfred was seated where you sitting presently. The last time we had him, he said there are 2 people in the APC: those who have the interests of the party and those who have
loyal to people.
Loyal to people. And someone just mentioned that your interest is your leader of Parliament, Honorable Chegnoba, and Alfred was here as well, accusing him of being the one who is pushing you members of Parliament to disrupt the issues within the committee.
I am not just before camera. One thing many people know me for in Sierra Leone, I'll watch you in your face and just tell you what the truth is. I am not afraid to tell anybody the truth, no matter when. So
whose interest are you on? Who? If
you read the court order, unlike my brother, you know, when Alfred was saying that, I was really saying, he's saying the truth. Because the 8th year appointed, according to the court order, are representing Alfred Peter Conte. So when he says some people are there representing the interests of people, no, it's not people. Some people are there representing the interests of a person. According to the court order, the 8th are representing Alfred Peter Conte. Let me come. This is where we are mixing it up. The 8 MPs are representing the members of the party who own their party, according to Fisher. The youth leader is representing the youth of the APC, according to the ruling. The Women's Congress representative is representing the women in the party, according to the ruling. Even the legal is representing the legal team of the APC. So if anybody is representing people, and other people are representing the party, the 12 are drawn from the circles of the party. And we are all paid up members. The 9, including Alfred, are representing Alfred in the matter. So who is representing a person and who is representing people?
May I ask my question now? Just as Lamrina mentioned, you're being accused of machinating a plan put together by forces that Alfred Peter Conte defeated, if that's the case. If that's anything to go with, is it not time you put, you know, these personal things away and, you know, focus on the party?
Let's agree with what this person is saying is truth. If it is so, was it timely for us who are fighting Alfred to have nominated Bumne to be the PRO of the committee? Is it timely
make your points.
Is it also timely that we accepted Alfred to be a chairman? Imagine the ruling is saying Alfred appoints 9, one of whom should be elected as the chairman. We went into the meeting, democratic Alfred could not even allow the process of elections to go through. He tapped his chest and said, I am the chairman. There was also a way to say, no, you are not the chairman, allow us to go through the process. Is it also, if we are fighting against Alfred, is it also prudent that the 12 of us would have voted against his notion of paying Bumne and the other 8? If we are against Alfred, would we have appointed Emma Simbo, elected Emma Simbo into the committee to head? The truth is, people are casting aspersions. We've worked together as a committee for a period of a very long time, and we have not come to the public to say, this is what has happened. We had a counter press release and a press release. We came again into the room. We resolved our matter. We proceeded. The issue is simple. Their fear is very clear. And for me, the greatest gain they've achieved in the PPRC press release, I wonder when my brother was saying it was unfortunate on the part of PPRC. PPRC, in their opinion, has solved the major fear they have. Their fear is not us working together. But Bumne has always gone to the room, we eat together, we drink together, we play and we leave the room. Their fear is, they've always thought we are going to use our numbers, understand, 12 against their own number of 9, to elect the interim election committee. Bumne, be rest assured, yourself and Alfred, that in that committee, we've always worked in unity, and in fact, we always have deliberations. Our problem is very simple. Let's go into the room, as we've always been, deliberate on issues on 3 basic pillars.
We'll come back. We'll
One
come
of
back to
them,
you.
let me just end.
Yeah, quickly, because
Quickly,
it's 9, we need to
because-
finish some.
Yeah.
If at all Bumne and his members will think about the people who've lost their lives, the people who've lost their jobs, the people who are waiting for a presidential candidate from the APC, they will not be here calling. In fact, it's a shame on Bumne to say they are still meeting at 7 members. Okay. It's a shame. As democratic as you claim, it's a shame, my big brother.
That's okay. That's okay. Abdul Karim, it's 9 a.m. in our studios.
Gentlemen, we're trying to round up. I'll come to you, Bumne. You've not responded yet to the messages, and most of the messages are about how the APC is not positioning itself as an alternative to the public. It's less than a year to the elections, you're still fighting. 21 people, you're still fighting to resolve critical issues for your party.
Yes, one of the things I want to assure the APC supporters, like the assumptions that there are people who are desperately supporting individuals, and there are people who are desperately supporting the APC party, is very, very, very visible. But unfortunately, like I said earlier, there is a parallel administration running parallel to the 21-man committee. And I believe the honorable members, the 12 members who have, opted themselves out of the 21-man committee, are taking instructions from this parallel administration. There are a lot of things that is happening. If we come out to say them, probably the party will be devastated. And that is why we are restraining. If you find out, I am restraining myself to go into the media houses, because there are facts and things that is happening within us and in our party. If we stand to say them out, then what these guys are doing, they are blackmailing us. They are prompting us to say things, and then they will go back. This is what they are doing in our meetings. They will bring up issues. As soon as we react to them, negative issues, as soon as we react to them, they will go to the public and say, these guys are paid up operatives. That has been the case in the 21-man committee. And for some of us, in fact, I made that complaint when the stakeholders, in one of the stakeholders meeting, I told them what we have suffered, and what these guys are doing. I want to assure the APC members, we are there for the APC. We are not there to support any group or individual but the APC. And we want to assure nobody in that 21-man committee or even outside will derail the process of us having our executive and our coming flag bearer. We want to prepare ourselves for the forthcoming. We are optimistic that APC will win 2023. So we have distractors who think two things. One, they want the 21-man committee of Alfred to fail because he fought them in a litigation. So they want him to fail. Two, there are some others who are manipulating to bring up their own political advantage as against the APC. We have all of those things which are working. And so we want to circumspectly work between those things and then make sure that the APC wins finally.
There is clear indication of ongoing disagreements between just this 21-man committee. And listening to both of you this morning, it doesn't seem it's going to be resolved soon.
It's going to be resolved.
How? Do you agree?
Now, yes, it's going to be resolved. Firstly, they are trying very hard not to get us to working. In fact, before now...
So that is the point. If you're saying they're trying very hard not to get you to work...
Because, you know why? We have the mandate to execute the court order. And we will not skip from that. We will execute this court order. We have the laws. He was talking about the Constitution. Now, let me tell you Article 12. Let me just show you something that will help us.
Of the Constitution.
Don't worry, don't just push me. I'm coming. there is Article 21, which was talking about meetings. Now they are talking about simple majority. We agree. That was what the court order said, simple majority. So if we are 21, simple majority can be 12, right? A simple majority. For a meeting, that was what was said. But again, in our Constitution, when you look at Article 21F, it says, for ordinary meeting, a quorum can take a decision. And a quorum of 1/3 persons. So that is Article 21F. So if at all they fail to come in our meeting, we can still apply because as you heard him said that the court order said we should work in tandem with our constitution, the new constitution, 2022 constitution. So if we are not getting them to work, they want to derail the process of the APC, then we can apply Article 21F, which says that a quorum, a quorum can take a decision. A quorum for an ordinary meeting can take a decision. And that was exactly what we did, so that we prevent them from holding up the party to continue.
Okay.
So go there, Article 21F, it tells you that 1/3 of a member in a meeting. When you talk about emergency meeting, you talk about...
Bumne, what you've not been able to tell us is how soon, what the process is. They are members of the committee, and there's this disagreement. How are you going to resolve the issues between the committee as members of the same party?
Two things they have done. Like I said, there are things we don't want to say here. We had...
You are highlighting the problems. You're not telling the public.
Yes, I'm highlighting the problem, because when we highlight the problems, then we can find a solution.
So how are you going to solve it? How do you think it can be resolved?
Now, let me come. It will be resolved in one way. There is already a peace facilitator team who have come and met with us. Very, very disappointingly, these honorable members threw harsh words at these people. They told them that they are not credible. They told them that they are not decent in the meeting. All of us were there. It was a shock for the people. And this, you have bishops, and you have members of parliament, you have former members of parliament, you have former executive directors, you have former ministers. We are part of this thing. These guys discarded these people. So what we are saying, how do we intend to solve this problem? We intend to solve the problem by going strictly according to the laws. That is the only way. Because if we leave this discussion, it will go. These guys, they have their own interests they are protecting. And we want to protect the party. So if the order says go by this, we'll go by it. And now let me give you one thing. There is a thing, if you look at the variation or discharge of this order. Now listen what the court order says. It says APC should apply to the courts, must first inform the plaintiff solicitor in writing 48 hours before. So even the order gave a right. If these guys are not satisfied with what the ITGC, Peter Conte, is doing, they have the right also to face. And that is the problem I've been bringing forward. I've been bringing this thing forward. When we have a stalemate, I'll tell them, gentlemen, the judge is not far from us. Can we go back and seek interpretation from the judge? They will refute it completely. So one of the things we can do is, let us all come together. We go to the judge for interpretation. That's one of the help. Not PPRC. Now, if you look at, I'm coming. If you look at PPRC press release, when we talk about this quorum, they said we should not go by the 2022 constitution. They said that in their press release. And for PPRC to say that kind of thing, it's very disappointing. That was why I said it's very unfortunate on the side of PPRC to have said that.
Okay.
And there are a lot of things, like I said, we don't want to say out. We don't want to let the bag out.
Let me go back to the reinstatement of Sam Sumana. Now, the highest decision-making body actually expelled Sam Sumana. Do you have the power as a committee to reinstate him, and also using the term unequivocal?
Firstly, we are not operating in normal times in the APC. We are not operating in normal times. We are operating under a court order. And this court order unequivocally has declared that the NAC that took the decision for all expulsions and suspension in the APC are illegal. That is stated clearly there. Unequivocally, it stated that the NAC that took the decision to expel whoever it is, because I don't want to bother on Sam Sumana alone, because there are many, many people who are expelled. They said they are illegal. It is stated there completely. It's clearly, you know. So if an illegal entity suspends somebody, then now the court has given the mandate to the ITGC to address unresolved membership. So it means the onus is completely on the ITGC. right now, and that's what we are doing.
Quickly, as we wrap up, let me just ask you this question. I mean, too many games been played in the committee. Now, who is fooling who, and what does this hold for the party come 2023?
I just want to address two things he has brought up.
Okay, then please answer that question.
He has talked about the APC constitution. Unfortunately, Bumne, the APC constitution is dated on my birthday, the 7th of March.
No,
so nobody in the APC has read it than I do.
Well,
it's a birthday gift for me. Okay. So when you talk about the Article 21, it talks specifically about NAC. Are you NAC?
Supposedly,
are you NAC?
ITGC is NAC because they have given.
Are you NAC?
You see, NAC takes the responsibility to govern the party. No, let me clarify this.
It was just a question.
Let me answer you.
Wait.
But you asked the question. Okay, I wait.
Apart from claiming to be a politician, now you are a reverend, a valid person,
I am in politics.
a respected person.
I told my congregation that I am in politics. So you don't intimidate me by telling me.
No,
I am. That's what they are trying to do. No. I am in politics. So treat me as a politician. Treat me as a reverend. So don't go that far. Let's clear it.
You asked him a question.
He has not answered, and he's creating
Please
problem.
allow him to answer the question before you make
Gentlemen, we need to.
Are you NAC?
We're
are not
particular about time.
We 21. You've
answered his question.
Yes. If we were NAC, we are not going to be called a committee. They were saying 21 men representing NAC. The court is very specific. We are a committee and not NAC. What he read in Article 21 talks about NAC. And in that situation, they are representing regions, they are being voted in. We came in to transition the party. Therefore, in unity, the judge is very clear in his words. He said, for the sake of unity, every decision, he has not said some of the decisions, he said every decision should be done by simple majority. What my brother has not said here is, at no point, all the decisions hiring the auditing firm were in unity. Going to the rules were in unity. Appointing executive members, of which is one, within the committee were in unity. Having the auditing firm were in unity. Throughout all the decisions we've taken, if 18 people are present, 18 people will vote. If 21 people are present, 21 people are going to vote on all things. In fact, he has not alluded to the fact that the only time we had a disagreement within the committee was the time we were voting for the sums, the amount to be paid for a flag bearer. He knew I supported 1 billion.
So what's the most contentious issue?
We've not had an issue in the committee, you understand? That has.
Are you against the reinstatement of Samson?
No! What we are against is simple. What brought about this commotion, which my brother has not talked about, and is attacking people left, right, and center, is just simple. The court order did not talk about us as a committee to have district chairman. There is no part in the court order that talks about that. There is no part of the court order that talks about us appointing people in the diaspora to lead the party. There is nothing like that. You said we are to appoint 24. The method should be in simple majority. How do you, as chairman, allude that you alone should appoint 4? How democratic is that?
Are you agreeing that this is much about interest,
no, it is
individual
not.
interest,
It is
protecting?
not interest.
No. It's about individuals within the committee trying to protect. It could be Alfred Peter Conte trying to protect his own, and you yourself as members trying to protect your own interest.
All through my media engagement, one thing I have not done is to allude to the fact or accept to the fact, as other people want to say, Alfred is supporting a candidate. No, I have not done that. Check all my records. What I continue to say is, he does not have the experience of leadership.
So is that why you're not giving him the respect he deserves as chairman of the party?
If we have not, we'll have not met all the court orders. You agree to me that all what the court has stated, we have achieved systematically. What we have not agreed in this content is the undemocratic tenet of allowing you, Mr. Chairman, to appoint 4. That is not democratic.
So now, Abdul, who is fooling who?
Exactly.
They are fooling the public. Let me come. They are fooling the public. How are they fooling the public? One, they are creating a picture as if ever since we are in the 21-man committee, we've been divided. No, we are not. We've worked together as a team. I said we've achieved 4 out of the 6 thematic responsibility given us by the court with no drop of a pin. All we've achieved. We've been we went to by-election unitedly. monies were spent and disbursed, salaries were asked to be paid, weekly allowance was asked to be paid to our brothers. We accepted. We are in unity. Not until we came to the point of two major decisions. And out of fear, what he's saying, he has said it clear.
It's less than an election.
Their intention is clear. All they want us to do is to go back to court. That is clear. We are not going back to court.
It's less than a year.
We are not going to court.
It's less than a year to the elections. Are you not making this old, campaign back and forth easy for President Bio and his candidacy for 2023?
I don't want to go to that part. He has
no, but this ongoing disagreement.
I'll respond to you. One thing we know is we are just a week or two to the start of the conventions of the APC. That I will say emphatically. The moment we have the rules gazetted, he's made a point here that says they've asked us many times to go to court. You understand? For us, that's unnecessary delay. The ruling he quoted is saying, in a situation where us, the party, you understand, the third defendant, the party, the judge is very clear on this division. He said, where us, the party, thinks we need a variation to the order, we should write them, the plaintiff, right? He is clear. If he knew we were all together, he was not going to put a division in his ruling. He said we should write them 24 hours. And when they agree, that is to say, still, the judge is saying, when you write them, if you can come together and resolve the matter within 48 hours, there's no need to come to court. Are
you already losing the 2023 elections before even going to the polls? With all this disagreement?
We've won it already. Let me tell you where we are as a nation.
You're fighting. 21 people
it's not fighting. We are not fighting. The people's mind are made up. I'll say this to you. What they are doing
but the people need an alternative if they're going to
have an alternative. The people have an alternative.
The people who are fighting, just
the people have an alternative already.
21 people fighting.
What I want my brother to say is, when he talks about the peace facilitators, mediating peace, we told him, you know, sometimes again, as a reverend, a former reverend, I am a theologian, I want to say the truth, yeah? As a former reverend, he ought to have said the truth. We told the peace facilitator that, Reverend sir,
he's against you attacking him.
No, I have not
trying
attacked
to
him.
Intimidate him.
No, I will not. I'll never. That is what his name. His full name is Reverend Bumne, Suleimani Bumne. He was a reverend. Far back, I have known him. I said I don't want to go into his personal.
Okay.
What we told the peace facilitators, we are willing to talk to you, Reverend, imams, and all the rest. Call us into a quiet room and we'll explain. But how do you call to me as a peace facilitator when you have Arash, who himself and Arash went to court with this party, and now Arash is coming in another identity as a peacemaker? We said no. How do you come to me?
So you clearly, as a party, you don't trust yourself.
No, how can I trust Arash? How do I trust my uncle? Even my uncle is part of the team he's talking about. The former Minister of Finance, Momodu Kagbo, who has said to us, is one of the key facilitators of the NRM. You cannot come in two identity. So we said to the imams, as MPs, we will not explain here. He's saying we attacked them, we did not. So we only said we are not going to explain
to them. So clearly
the
public should not, the people should not see you, the APC, as an alternative.
No, we are not just an alternative, we are government in waiting. What we are saying to them is, he said we've opted out of the 21-man committee. I want to make it clear. We are not just part of the 21-man committee. We are the people representing the party in the 21-man committee. And for the records, ever since we went to that meeting, they called. In fact, the other 10 is saying, even when we were in Parliament, when they called the meeting, there was one meeting we attended, and 5 minutes to the time they called off the meeting.
Okay.
And ever since that day, they have never communicated to us for any meeting.
Thank you, Abdul Karim.
They have never communicated to us for any meeting. Therefore, any position paper that is out, let me make this clear, please. This is where the problem is.
Please, in a minute.
I will, less than even a minute.
Okay.
All the meetings they are purporting to have called, they have not communicated to us as members of Parliament, nor the other remaining 4. And every meeting they are holding now is not just illegal, but does not constitute the 21 representing the decisions are not representing the 21-man committee. And that is shameful for a person who claims to be a Democrat. Very shameful.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Disappointingly, very quickly, disappointingly low, he's talking about we are not informing them. You know what they did? We moved the motion for Abdul Kabo to do a forum where we discuss our issues. Now, when these issues were coming, the discussions in these issues were clear evidence to prove that these guys are on the other side. and they are blackmailing us. So what they did was, when we posted, because that is the normal thing, we will post the minutes. When we posted the minutes adopted with regards to this reinstatement and the membership issue, then what did they do? They expunged the 9 of us from that forum. And after 3 to 4 hours, they closed down the forum. So now we don't have where to communicate. So to us, in fact,
don't you have our numbers?
So even on WhatsApp, you are fighting?
Well, that's what they have done.
No, I'm asking, you, as a party, I'm asking you, a member of the committee.
No, we are discussing.
Even on,
Is it the only means to get us?
The problem we have is, we are not discussing in our meeting. We are arguing. And that is what we were telling them. This is not time for argument.
But how do we achieve all the other things?
But let me finally
But we achieve everything.
I want to assure the APC public. Like I said earlier, I deliberately refused to come on radio. And they were going all over the place. AYV, this and that, they were all there talking and talking. We refused to talk because there are things, if we let them out, it will destroy the party.
What do you need to the party?
No. If we set them out, they will destroy the party. He was talking about money. He was talking about money the last time. He said they paid us money. That money was given once.
Well, you know, did you receive the money?
Can you imagine? Once.
Did you receive money?
The people, I was sick.
Did you receive money from the party?
No, can I go on? He was sick.
Please,
gentlemen.
Please let me finish this. I was sick. They took that decision.
Who?
That everyone should complement transportations because other people don't want. What they did was, it was accepted, it was approved. Now they went and said, no, we are working already, we don't want it. And then they went to the other 4, making 12. Don't take that money. Let's give them a bit. And so when the money it was given once. I only received once. Now they are coming, they are receiving money, they are receiving this, they are receiving that. These are lies. You know.
So there is a clear indication of lack of trust between yourselves.
No, that is exactly.
Okay.
And the lack of respect for the chairman.
And that is not going to be resolved soon.
No, it will be resolved.
Okay.
I told you what will be resolved. Let me give my final word. Please, I am appealing to all APC people. They are giving you the wrong messages to hate us. We are in to unify the party.
You mean your own APC colleagues?
Our members, honorable members in the committee.
Okay.
They are using us. They are saying all sorts of things against us. Let me finish this, please.
Go on, please.
I want to appeal to every APCian that we are in to bring this party together, prepare ourselves for the 2023. That's our target.
Are you leaving them out?
No, if they want, they can join. As far as
they don't want to move,
they can move. But we will move ahead.
Okay.
We will move ahead. If you are not satisfied, then the judge is close to you. But we don't want anybody to
will not go to court.
This single act
will not go to court.
It doesn't paint out a good picture for the APC people that are looking forward to you guys providing a presidential candidate for the upcoming election.
I don't want to name names here, but most of the guys that are projecting themselves to be leaders of the APC are part of the problems already.
Like who?
No, I don't want to name names, but I'm just saying it. This is why I tell you I don't want to talk things. This is a medium, because I am APC.
Finally, will you agree that you also have your own interests while you're accusing them of having their own
interest is the APC. And their interest is they are supporting individuals.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Honorable AKK, for joining us this morning. Thank you very much, Bumne.
Thank you.
For joining us.
Bumne is struggling.
This morning on this show, it's Wake Up SALONE. We've been talking about the disagreements between members of the 21-man committee of the APC. We will be following up on these issues, and definitely in subsequent editions, we'll be talking to you, the members of the committee, on some of the issues being raised.